with a purpose. Almost 2 weeks after her death, how the story of Kimani Lateeg inspired two brothers from South Carolina to make a difference here in Toledo. And wicked weather. We had a lot of rain here, but it could be a lot worse. How much one city got dumped on, and the warning from police as they look to the future. Well, good morning and welcome into WTOL 11 News. I'm Michael Sandlin. We'll get to all those top stories in just a moment, but first, wanted to go ahead and take a look at your forecast. Meteorologist John Birchfield joins us now. John, we've had rain all week. Are we finally going to get a bit of reprieve?
Well, finally, we are seeing those rain showers come to an end. The last of the sprinkles now south and east of the Maumee River in areas like Fremont, Sandusky, down towards Tiffin and Norwalk. In the Toledo Metro, still some wet road conditions. However, I do expect the rain to gradually taper off. Overall, the heaviest amounts were south of the Metro. Areas like Hancock County saw the brunt of the rainfall earlier today, and this just includes the rain last night through today, which was about 2 inches south of Toledo. Northern suburbs like Sylvania just saw about a tenth, and those southern suburbs like Perrysburg and Bowling Green saw about half an inch or a little bit more. The last of those rain showers now clearing off south and east in areas like Seneca County up towards Ottawa and Sandusky counties. Low pressure moving into Pennsylvania, and that is going to finally bring the rain to a pause overnight tonight through Sunday. So the hour-by-hour timetable does bring those rain showers on out of here. Sunday's still going to be mostly cloudy, bleak, and overcast. However, we have the chance for some rain and, get this, snow showers Monday. I'm going to break down the timeline coming up in just a bit.
All right, John, we'll see you then. Massive protests sprung up not only here in the U.S., but across the pond as well. They were protesting the White House's newest key initiatives. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is getting ready for a new week after announcing those new global tariffs and a fierce stock market reaction. CBS News has the latest.
From Chicago to Washington, D.C. and across the U.S., people gathered Saturday to speak out against the Trump administration. They protested President Trump's key initiatives, including large-scale cuts to federal agencies and the new slew of tariffs that have tanked global stock markets.
Their tariffs are not only imbecilic, they're illegal, they're unconstitutional, and we're going to turn this around.
Protesters also took to the streets in Paris, London, and other European capitals.
The policies Trump is following are a threat to the world as we have come to know it and enjoy it as very privileged Westerners.
Today, we really want to send a message of solidarity to our friends and families back in America.
President Trump is spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago estate here in South Florida. Some new tariffs on goods imported to the U.S. went into effect Saturday, triggering customs agents' collections at ports of entry. In a post on Truth Social, the president asked Americans to hang tough, calling the tariffs an economic revolution. But many consumers say they are worried. A YouGov poll finds that just over 2/3 of Americans think the price of goods they typically buy will rise. Christian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
And yesterday, thousands of people across the country rallying against President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk as part of the nationwide hands-off protest. Dominique O'Neill was at Toledo's version of the event and joins us now in studio. Dominique, how was the energy out there and what were the emotions you saw?
Well, Michael, the people that were there clearly were upset and angry over some of the decisions the administration has made, calling out everything from government downsizing to the state of the economy and what they call threats to basic human rights.
Cuts have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! All these cuts have got to go!
For over an hour, people in downtown Toledo marched this afternoon across the Craig Bridge, carrying signs and chanting slogans, calling for greater accountability and protection of civil liberties.
People are really pissed, and we want people to know that we are not going to stand for it. So this is what democracy looks like.
Thousands of people showed up to express their frustration, including some city officials.
I'm fired up. I'm angry. I'm excited that there are so many people here that feel the same we do, but we're here today to say that we do not want Elon Musk to touch our federal government. We want hands off our government.
The march remained peaceful, with a visible police presence throughout. Some attendees say they joined the event to speak out on issues that directly impact their communities.
I'm here to represent what everybody's standing for. Our country's in trouble, and everybody has their reasons. I'm a veteran, and they're going to start cutting stuff. I get veteran services.
Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey, hey.
But not everyone is in favor of this protest. Some Republicans who say in a divided time, this is no way to find common ground.
Let's work together. We have so many good people in Toledo and Lucas County. We have so many good people in the state of Ohio. We have so many good people in the United States of America. Let's work together.
And State Senator Teresa Gavron wrote to WTOL 11, a hands-off approach is exactly what this country was dealing with during the disastrous Biden-Harris administration. I am proud to support President Trump's efforts, and while it is certainly the right of the people to attend events like these, the reality is their way of thinking was widely rejected at the ballot box in November.
All these cuts have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Marchers at the rally say this is just the start, and as long as the administration is in power, they will resist.
We're never going to stop fighting for the people, and that's what we're doing today.
And there were also other hands-off events held in Adrian, Sandusky, Wauseon, Findlay, Fostoria, and Fremont. Reporting in studio, Dominique O'Neill, WTOL 11.
All right, thanks, Dom. Toledo police are investigating after one person was taken to the hospital in a South Toledo crash last night. Police say it happened around 9 at the intersection of Byrne and Schneider. They say one person was turning onto Byrne when they hit two other cars. The intersection was blocked for more than an hour. Police say that person had minor injuries. Almost 2 weeks after the body of 13-year-old Kimani Lateague was found in East Toledo, the community is still in mourning. Yesterday, her story brought a group from South Carolina to host a walk in her memory. People braved the weather for the 13-mile walk. It started outside the Miami Street home where she was found in March. The walk was organized by Davon Woods, a founder of Foster Kids Matter. He and his twin brother Tavon have held walks across the country to raise awareness for kids in the foster care system. He says as soon as he heard her story, he knew he had to take the trip up here.
It only been about a week, not even a lot of time to prepare for a walk, but it's just so amazing to see how the community come out and to see what they've done for her birthday and stuff like that. It truly gives me hope. And we just want people all around the world to remember her name, because oftentimes you hear stories like this. This isn't my first time hearing a story like this, but as horrible as it is, I just want to make sure that the world remember her name.
Wood says he wants to make the walk a yearly tradition to honor Kimani. Now take a closer look at this photo right here. Keith Klein has been missing for 3 days, and now the community is gathering to try to find him. Swanton police say the 68-year-old was last seen on Thursday around the 300 block of Dodge Street in Swanton. Now, those who know him are asking for your help. They're holding a search party this morning at 10 a.m. They will start at Pilliod Park. If you can't make it, they say to take a few minutes to check around your property and see if he's there. A workshop meant to provide help for those in Ukraine was sold out in Rossford yesterday. Toledo Helps Ukraine invited people in the community to paint eggs and buy Ukrainian baked goods. And it wasn't just the tickets that were sold out, the baked goods also went fast. Organizers say all proceeds go to help those in Ukraine, and the group is thankful for the community support despite the state of the world.
This is a clear evidence of that our voices matter and that we can make a difference. So each and everyone who come and help, who bought just a regular yard sign or contributed a little bit, it's a big, huge impact.
You can donate by checking out the Toledo Helps Ukraine website. In his short time at the helm, Bowling Green Athletic Director Derek Vandermeer has been tasked with hiring 9 different coaches. But the one that's grabbed the headlines the last few weeks was OSU and NFL great Eddie George. This week on Leading Edge, Vandermeer says a phone call from Urban Meyer was what got the ball rolling.
He called me a day later and he says, Derek, I got one name for you, Eddie George. And I said, Eddie, the Heisman winner, right? The former Titan, this NFL, all-pro athlete. And I said, that's really great, but this is the values. Here's what I'm looking for in a person, and I appreciate that. Is he aligned with that? He says, have you ever talked to Eddie? And I said, no. Have the conversation, and then let's talk again. And I think after that first interview, I went through a series of probably 4, 5, 6 different conversations with Eddie before I started to understand truly what were the values that drove him, how they were aligned with the values of our institution.
Vandermeer also talks about NIL and if he thinks it's here to stay. Leading Edge is this morning at 8:30 or whenever you want on YouTube and WTOL 11+. With the need for more caseworkers on the rise, Lucas County Children's Services held a job expo. With openings in children's services happening all around, the agency invited the community to a one-stop shop to look at job opportunities. Executive Director Randy Muth says child welfare is a profession that after almost 30 years of working is a rewarding trade.
Probably two things, it's one of the most difficult jobs you'll ever love, and just seeing the everyday heroics that happen with this great staff.
To see job openings, you can visit their job opportunities page, which you can find on our links mentioned tab at WTOL.com. Last night was the inaugural Mental Health Gala in Maumee. People who came out were treated to dinner, live music, and an awards ceremony celebrating local mental health heroes. The gala is a collaboration between Revitalize Behavioral Health and Here's My Turning Point. Their goal is to showcase strength and unity through the 419's mental health service providers.
What we're doing is showing people that we can unite with business owners such as ourselves and get out here and reach the people that is underserved that need our help.
Tonight's fundraising goal was $25,000. Organizers say the money raised tonight will go back to different mental health services provided by the two organizations. Coming up, a young girl is celebrating her birthday by giving and not receiving. The wonderful gift she's giving to charity and why she says it's personal to her.
Well, still seeing a little bit of green on radars. The last of those showers move south and east. I'll show you when some sunshine returns and warmer weather coming up next.
Well, take a look at this. This is drone video released by police in Kentucky showing what they described as, quote, unprecedented flooding as catastrophic and deadly flooding hits the state. Police say almost 9.5 inches have fallen over the last 58 days, and they're stressing the area isn't even close to being out of the woods yet. Authorities say a particularly dangerous flood watch remains in effect for the entire region. And we've gotten some heavy rain here as of late as well, but thankfully it hasn't been near as bad. Meteorologist John Birchfield joined us with more. John, many areas around here have been dealing with flooding this week. Is there any chance we could dry out in the near future?
Well, Michael, we are going to be drying out, but there still could be some lingering flooding concerns throughout the course of the rest of the weekend. So where do we stand in the rainfall department? We are sitting at 2.78 inches of rain in the Toledo Metro, and that puts us at 2.28 above the normal mark, which is only half an inch through today's date. And we're only about 5 days into April. Showers are going to be wrapping up tonight. On your Sunday, it's still going to feel a bit damp and soggy with dreary conditions expected. So let's look at those rainfall amounts. South of Toledo, areas like Ottawa and Findlay saw the heaviest rainfall amounts, and some of those totals amounted to about 2 to 3 inches of rain. Where you see those brighter colors near Findlay, flooding concerns still could be aggravated over the next 24 hours. Still a little bit of green on Doppler radar south and east of the river. Areas like Sandusky and Norwalk, back into the vicinity of Seneca County, still continue to see some showers. Low pressure is moving off towards Pennsylvania, and on the backside of this, look at Kentucky. There is still flash flooding that is ongoing. Those are all flash flood alerts that are in effect as a result of this system. There could also be some strong to severe storms with this, and some folks have an enhanced risk of severe weather down towards Mississippi, where that severe risk is going to be the highest. So the hour-by-hour timetable does show you those showers predominantly going to be impacting the central portions of the Buckeye State. And then as we head into your Sunday, there is a very minor little weather disturbance that could actually bring a few unseasonable April snow showers to portions of central Ohio. For us here at home, I am expecting a mainly dry but still bleak Sunday. And then Monday, a clipper system. This will be drifting in from the northwest, and it is going to bring us some rain and snow showers as well as a very breezy feel. So Monday, not necessarily a great outdoor day either. Forecast does feature cloudy and damp conditions, 45 degrees, isolated sprinkles, but I do expect more dry hours with a light northeast wind. So how much rain can you expect? Additional amounts just going to be around about 1/10 of an inch for the Toledo Metro. Slightly higher totals are possible to the south, and some of those river levels do crest a couple of days after the rain. So keep in mind, there still could be some lingering effects. Cloud cover is going to be pretty thick and dense, overcast conditions. Sunday is going to be cloudy and cool, with highs only in the mid-40s. Next couple of days, there's that clipper system Monday. It is going to be turning windy and cooler into the afternoon. Highs briefly spike to the upper 40s, but it is going to be turning cooler later on. And I do finally expect some sunshine to return Tuesday and Wednesday. Brighter conditions are going to be expected. Still going to be on the cooler side though. So if you're looking forward to a warm up, that may require a bit more patience. Next week, little system comes in on Thursday with a scattered chance for showers. Nothing to write home about as far as rainfall, and that looks like it's only going to bring about 1/4 to half an inch of rain. Into next weekend, temperatures spiking near 60 degrees. Both weekend days do look dry as of now, and this will be a long sustained stretch of dry weather, and much of the 10-day forecast does provide some reprieve from the wet weather, and we're also going to be warming up as well, with several days in the 60s, trending milder through the middle of April.
El Corazon de Mexico says its mission is to promote Mexican dance. The Toledo-based dance group travels across the country, putting their talents on display. Events like yesterday's annual Thank You for Believing benefit at the Believe Center funds their costumes and allows them to keep the traditional dances alive.
Folkloric dancing is passed down from generation to generation. It's passed down from teacher to teacher. And a lot of our dancers, maybe they had their parents used to dance or their aunts or uncles used to dance. So we're just continuing that tradition for the community.
Now, if you'd like to see El Corazon de Mexico perform live, their schedule can be found over at their website. Well, instead of celebrating her birthday by getting presents, local 9-year-old girl Olivia Edgel celebrated by giving presents. Growing up, Olivia dealt with life-threatening allergic reactions and wanted to make sure children didn't have to suffer like she did. Olivia is now donating allergy-free food to the Ronald McDonald House charity of Northwest Ohio, and it was quite the donation, giving up to 400 food options to families in need.
We love, as a team, my daughter and I, just to promote awareness in the allergy world and, just make it more aware and more, it's very prominent nowadays. So just to have a couple options for families staying here that do have some food allergies, that is what it's about for us.
Now, if you'd like to also lend a hand to those in need, you can do so by donating to the Ronald McDonald House by reaching out to their website. We're taking a look at your health headlines tonight. such as how getting food poisoning even once changes how you look at food, and how the Trump deportation efforts could affect your health care. Michael George has more.
The Trump administration's deportation efforts may lead to a workforce shortage in health care. An analysis by JAMA found more than 1 million non-citizen immigrants work in health care, making up 4% of hospital workers and 7% of nursing home workers. There are already staffing shortages in nearly half of U.S. nursing homes. Mpox has the potential to become a major global health threat. Researchers from the University of Surrey say the disease, once referred to as monkeypox, is traditionally spread from animals to humans, but is now showing clear signs of human-to-human transmission. Doctors say we need to invest in more testing and treatments. And if you've ever had food poisoning, you may remember that afterwards it's hard to even look at the food that got you sick. Well, scientists have found that getting food poisoning creates a link in the memory part of your brain, forming a permanent connection that basically ruins that food for you forever. Scientists say it's a similar effect to PTSD. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
All right, when we return, we recap Saturday night's Final Four games, talk about that crazy upset of Duke, plus the Walleye are on the road in Cincinnati. Got those stories and more coming up next in sports. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. Welcome back. The Final Four kicked off Saturday night with the two semifinal games. We started off with Florida versus Auburn and ended the night with Houston versus Duke. Earlier tonight, Houston pulled off a stunning upset of Duke. The Cougars were down 9 in the final 3 minutes, but went on a 15-3 run to take the lead. Ended up winning the game 70-67. Houston is playing for a national title for the first time since 1984. And in the first semifinal game, Florida beat Auburn 79-73. The Gators were led by Walter Clayton Jr., who had 34 points in the game. Florida is playing for their first national championship since the 2007 team that had Al Horford and Joakim Noah. Down in Cincinnati, the Walleye taking on the Cyclones. Starting in the second period, Toledo down 1-0, but Mitchell Lewandowski evens it up here. Third period, Walleye down 2-1 now. Lewandowski again. We're tied at 2 after this goal right here. But then, less than 30 seconds later, Brandon Cruz going to find the back of the net here. There it is. Toledo takes the lead there. Cincinnati answering with 2 goals to take the lead again. But in the final seconds, Walleye trying to tie it up and send it to overtime. Brandon Hawkins here, the former MVP, with 3 seconds left, gets one past the goalie, tied at 4. We are headed to OT. But in overtime, Cincinnati would score to win the game, and the Walleye lose 5-4. They'll be back home next Friday for the next to last regular season game. And in more college basketball news, the transfer portal has been open for about 2 weeks, and the Rockets have been looking to fill the empty spots on their roster. So far, they've got at least one. Earlier this week, the team announced Kyle Vanderjag would be joining the team. Vanderjag is coming from Central Michigan, where he averaged just over 11 points a game. Head coach Todd Kowalczyk recruited Vanderjag hard in high school and is glad to finally get him on his team.
Yeah, Kyle Vanderjag, you know, we've had so much success in the portal. Now, we've lost our share of really good players, too, but we replaced them with really good guys. And for the most part, last year I think we made some mistakes in the portal, but we're going to go back to what made us really good, and that's high-character men from really good families that are skilled and tough. And that's Kyle Vanderjag. We recruited him out of high school, so we know his family well, we know him well. It was us in Belmont, and he chose Belmont. And now, 3 years later, I get a chance to coach him, so we're really, really excited about that.
And finally, the Mud Hens are in Texas this week playing Round Rock. Toledo ended up losing Saturday night 6-4 in 10 innings. They play again Sunday afternoon to close out the series. That'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.
The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame has revealed the class of 2025. It features 9 inductees and a whole basketball team. The inductees include Carmelo Anthony, Danny Crawford, Billy Donovan, Dwight Howard, Sue Bird, Sylvia Foyles, and Maya Moore. Also on the list is the 2008 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team, otherwise known as the Redeem Team. Carmelo Anthony was on that team, so he'll be enshrined twice. The festivities take place on September 5th and 6th. And last night was your last night to enjoy cheap Mega Millions tickets. The lottery game is changing, and the most noticeable one, the cost of a ticket, which will go from $2 to $5. The tickets also include a built-in multiplier, which will increase non-jackpot prizes. Another change is the starting jackpot will be $50 million, more than double the current starting jackpot of $20 million. And finally, people paid for a relaxing cruise, but what they ended up on was more like a 48-hour roller coaster. Take a look at this. You can see massive waves crashing into the cruise ship during a 12-day voyage to Antarctica. Guests were tossed from side to side, and even one person was thrown to the floor. People on board estimated some of the waves were 30 to 40 feet tall. Now, that stretch of sea is known for its turbulent waters, and it's also called the Drake Shake. Now, one person described the experience by saying, quote, "My soul would have left my body seeing that giant wave come to hit the glass." It's a pretty good quote. I'd probably feel the same way if I saw 30 to 40 foot waves.
I think we said in the last show that if someone tried to do the Drake Shake around you, you run, you get away from that.
Yeah, that's a horrible TikTok challenge.
Yeah, nobody wants to do the
Not
Drake
interested.
Shake.
You know, it's only available in Arctic waters as well.
Right. Yeah.
We get some pretty choppy waters here on the Great Lakes sometimes.
We do, and we're getting some pretty choppy waters in the forecast, too.
Yeah, a lot of water falling from the sky, but those showers finally going to be letting up as we head into Sunday. Still a bit overcast and dreary looking before that Clipper system comes in on Monday and produces a couple rain and snow showers.
Snow.
I know, in April, can you believe it? But look at the end of the forecast, 60s and sunshine.
All right, everybody. There's another side to this. The grass is greener.
Light on the horizon.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Get some sleep. We'll see ya.